Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to review this, video that was posted to social media. Shout out to the brother that posted this video, Nas Escobar 316. You have an election coming up in Georgia, and we know we have Raphael Warnock and we have Herschel Walker. I'm going to tell you what. Let's review this, and then I'll give you my take on what I would do if I was a voter in Georgia in the black community. But let's go ahead on and cue this up.
My question is, it seems that we're always dealing with the symptoms of the problems instead of the bigger issues. And it seems that's one of the issues that could kind of fix all the issues is talking about reparations. And we don't talk about reparations enough in this country. And the last that I checked, the House had gotten the HB 40 past committee. And as far as I can tell, that's where it stopped. And I know you're in the Senate, so I'm not sure what you can do about that. But I did just wonder what you could do to further that cause in America right now.
All right. So you heard what he said. He's asked him about reparations. The question is about reparations. The question is about anything else but reparations. OK, we just wanted to establish he asked him about reparations because we need to get down to the nitty gritty. The problem with black folks in America is an economic problem. And the reason why we have an economic problem is because of the historical sabotage of black Americans. Because let's say, OK, throw away slavery, after slavery, Reconstruction. Every time that black people have built whole towns, not a neighborhood, whole towns, black people have built business districts, etc. Here come the white supremacists destroying and sabotaging everything that we've even built. Even our churches, they bombed and burned down and all different things they've done to us. Every time you had a black man who would get up in America, he would be looked at as uppity and he'd be the main one targeted to get attacked or, taken out of here. OK, that has been our story in America when it comes to economics. Sabotage. That's been the story. So it's going to take economics to get black people in the right position. Nothing else is going to do it. So let's hear with Raphael Warnock. This is the guy that wants the black vote. This guy right here. I want you to pay attention to what he says.
So there is a bill to study the issue of reparations. Here's what I'm for. Equity.
What?
What is he talking about? What is he talking about? He said reparations. The man didn't ask you about equity. He didn't ask you about that. He asked you about reparations. Oh, but it gets better. Let's keep going.
An opportunity. And I wake up every day fighting for that. And I do it in such a way that I think benefits all of us. But when you look at the issue of healthcare, for example,
equity in healthcare. Okay, last time I checked, the man asked about reparations. That's what I heard. That's what you heard, right? Reparations. He didn't say nothing about equity. He didn't say anything about health care. Let's continue.
We can get Medicaid expanded.
Medicare for all.
It would help all of us if we could get Medicaid expanded, if we could get a fix. But it would have a disproportionate impact on communities of color.
Oh, God. Y'all, if anything else, we're going to drill into your heads. When you hear those terms, communities of color, people of color, everybody, all people, they're not talking about black America. This man was asked a direct question from a black American about reparations that's owed to his descendants and that he needs to benefit from due to the economic terrorism and physical terrorism that has been done to black Americans in this country. And this bootlicking preacher here is going to sit up here and talk about equity and healthcare and everybody and communities of color. How are we supposed to be voting for that? How? Why would you go and vote for that? And to the people in the back of the room, well, what he supposed to vote? What we supposed to vote for? Phil, Herschel Walker? You know what? I'll take Herschel Walker over this guy. Because you know what? At least Herschel Walker is pretty upfront what he is. He said many times he's not that smart. At least he's being honest, right? This guy is more deceptive. This guy would make sure to assist the white supremacists in burying us for a freaking check. And he know he's doing it. At least Herschel Walker, you gotta halfway deceive him. And okay. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy that wants the black vote. This guy. He could not even talk about reparations for not even 2 seconds. He went right to y'all have to understand, the Democrats have a playbook. Let's go back to the 2016 election. When WikiLeaks had put out the emails from the DNC and they said, when you're approached by black activists, listen to them, say you hear them, but do not promise them anything. And that's exactly the mantra that they continue. Do not promise black folks anything. No policies, no hate crime bill, no reparations. Don't promise black folks a freaking thing. And a lot of you in Georgia went up here, listening to Stacey Abrams and all that at the time. Oh, we got to get Trump out. Oh, let's get this guy elected. And listen, this is the result of your votes, folks. Now, you can redeem yourself here in the next month or so. You can redeem yourself. It's not long to redeem yourself. But let's continue.
Because the disparities are so great.
There's no other disparity that's greater than what happened to black America. Everybody that's in this country outside of black America came over here by choice. They flew over here, they walked over here, they swam over here, but they done that by choice. Anything that they deal with in America, they can also get and go back to their home countries. They didn't have their language stripped from them. They didn't have their country stripped from them. They didn't have their heritage stripped from them. They didn't have a culture stripped from them. We had to build everything from scratch. We had to build our culture all over again. We had to come up with our own language, our own food. We had to build our own culture all over again. This is why when you have black immigrants come over here and use the words, y'all don't have any culture, that is more despicable to me than even the N-word at times, because our culture is known worldwide. When you come over here to this country, you're not wearing your traditional clothes anymore. Even in your own country, you're wearing the clothes that we wear. You're copying our style. You're copying our swag. You're copying our music. What are you talking about? Our culture is the dominant black culture. And that's why some people don't like that. Let's continue with this guy here.
We invest in jobs, when we invest in infrastructure.
The man didn't ask you about jobs. The man didn't ask you about infrastructure. The man asked you about, say it with me, folks, reparations. But this is your black representation. And you know what? Every election cycle is getting better and better for black America. Now, you may say, why, Phil? Why is it getting better and better? Because life is happening. And the electorate that voted for them the most and is fine with what this guy is saying is going on to Jesus, because his life is happening. And now who they have to deal with, they got to deal with us. And they know it. Every 2 years, they losing more and more voters. And more black people today are asking about reparations. They're saying, what you going to do for black people? They're asking about an anti-black hate crime bill. These black politicians, I'm telling you, folks, we got to deal with them first before we talk about dealing with white supremacy. We got to deal with the bootlicks first.
When we invest in a whole range of these things, when we deal with the expanded child tax credit.
What the hell that got to do with black folks getting reparations, man?
Which helps 97% of families with children. But when you look at the racial wealth gap, it will be a great help to communities of color and other.
Oh, God, man. The racial wealth gap was created by slavery, you fool. Once again, the racial wealth gap between black people and white people was created by slavery, you ignorant fool. Why are you saying the racial wealth gap? And there's only one wealth gap between black and white, nobody else. Everybody else coming here on an equal footing and they can get it how they live because we made the sacrifices. We died, we bled, we were blown up, we was hanging from a tree, we was everything that happened to us. All these other groups could walk on our backs, get in this country and have an actual chance to do something, no matter where they come from. So the only wealth gap that they have is between black and white. Reparations would close that gap. We should be hella offended at Raphael Warnock with this. Black people, until you make politicians like Raphael Warnock and these Democrats that's playing games with you and listen, if a Hispanic person had asked him a question, he would answer a question and talk about it. He's not even acknowledging what this man is saying about reparations. Not even acknowledging it.
The marginalized people.
Other marginalized people. Once again, he's asking about Black America, and I wish that brother would say, wait, Senator Warnock, not to cut you off. I didn't ask you about equity. I didn't ask you about nothing. I'm asking you about reparations for Black Americans. This is not an everybody question. This is not a people of color question. This is a Black American question. And if you do not want to answer Black Americans and take us seriously, we know what to do. You have told us what to do on election day. You told us to do one or two things. You told us to don't make sure never to cast a vote for you ever again and any Democrat that talk like you. Or if we want to, we may go vote for Herschel Walker. Just to show that we did show up on election day, we made sure to vote for him. Yes, the guy that everyone knows shouldn't even be up there, but you know what? We'd rather go vote for him instead of you. This guy is ridiculous. This guy do not need to be in the Senate. And black folks in Georgia, I know you're listening. A lot of people in Atlanta do watch the show, and shout out to y'all from Atlanta, different parts of Georgia. Do not vote for this man. This man is hella disrespectful to black folk. He got his money. He got his money. He good. He not worried about reparations. He don't need it. Because he got his. He tied in. He a senator. He go get all the perks from that. But so he good. Reparations, he don't need that. He got his reparations. But you don't have yours. You see? And notice this black political class and the black bourgeoisie, they don't promote reparations like that because they got theirs. Listen, they need you to be down so they can get their little crumbs from the table of master. You understand? When master say, look, I'll give you some crumbs from my table and you'll eat a little bit better than the average black folk, but you got to help me keep them suppressed. You got to help me keep them in line. You understand? You got to help me make sure they get to the polls and vote and keep, us in. And if you can do that, Tiffany Cross, if you can do that, Boulay Martin, if you can do that, Warnock, then I'll give you just a few more crumbs from the table than I'm giving them. I'll let you get into some places that I don't let the rest of them get into. I'll let you get some TV time. I'll let you do all of that. But just don't go sit down and interview with them, though, because I can't protect you. Because listen, how is it that Raphael Warnock is in Georgia and he's not sat down with no black platforms? I'm not talking about CNN. I'm not talking about CNN, MSNBC. That's safe for him to go to. No, why don't he go talk to black platforms right there in Georgia? Independent platforms, who got audiences that sit right there in Georgia that people can vote, that can really get on his behind and ask him questions about the black community and where has he been at on the black community in Georgia. This dude is nothing but a puppet. And listen, with that reverend in front of their name, I don't trust him anyway. I'm not saying all preachers are bad. I'm not saying that. But with that black church in America has been the biggest failure for our people. It collects billions of dollars a year and do nothing for black people as a whole. Nothing whatsoever. Should have known y'all always talking about people scamming and grifting. Ain't nobody scamming and grifting more than these preachers in the black community. Every time a person get a small platform to get a little following, all the black folks that don't like it because they couldn't do it, oh, they're a scammer, they're a grifter. But you don't call these preachers no scammers and grifters? Raising money, all kinds of. We all know but the preachers what they do, and nobody says anything. How could you vote for this guy? How? That's what I want to know, black folk. You tell me in the comment section. How could you vote for this guy when he openly disrespect you? And this same guy is all for people coming across that border and lowering wages, because it's going to happen. He don't stand up for that. He stands up for everything else. Remember, we talking about everybody. We mean people of color, communities of color, everything of color. A black man using the term of color. Really? He could not even say the word black. This is despicable. This is utterly despicable. People in Georgia, y'all got to get this guy out of office. He got to go. He got to go. If you're not willing to fight for black America, you got to go. We got to start doing, listen, what Donald Trump has been doing to the politicians that cross him, we got to make sure in black America we do that to the politicians that cross us. Oh, you're not for reparations? Oh, you playing games, not answering our questions? Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem. You out of there. You gone. That's okay. Make sure you pack your office up because you're gone. Until we start doing that, that's the only way we're going to be taken seriously. It's like what Julius Malema said. We all talking about the things that we're talking about. We all got to be registered to vote. We got to. Because like Malema said, what's the point of talking about anything and you not even registered to vote? He said, if you're not registered to vote, you don't even need to be in the EFF. Because when we need to go do something politically, we need everybody to go out and do it in one block. We need to say, okay, I'm voting for this one. I'm not voting for that one, or I'm going to sit it out. And tell you why I'm sitting it out. My position is this. If you want to vote for Herschel Walker, go ahead. I ain't got a problem with it. If you say ain't vote for now one of them, I'm cool with that too. Long as you don't give that guy your vote. Don't give it to him. He's bought, paid for, bootlicking puppet, and while he's doing great. He's selling the rest of black America down the river. But he voted for that Asian hate crime bill. He voted for it. You know that? He voted for it. He wasn't against it in the Senate. He don't want to talk about your reparations, but he made sure to protect the Asian community, and the Asian community come out in mass and vote for him in Georgia. They didn't do that. Black people did. And that's how he repays you. It's everybody. People of color, equity, health care, reparations. We can listen, reparations, I don't care about no equity at that point. Health care, with reparations, I can go to my own doctors. I can do that. I'm good. Just give me my reparations. I'm fine. Reparations will solve a lot of problems for a lot of my people. Economics. Because you know what? This guy also voted for more money for Ukraine. Y'all need to start pulling these people's records and saying, hey, wait a minute. You voted for the Asian hate crime bill. You voted for money for Ukraine, but you can't talk about reparations? So Ukraine can get billions of dollars, but black America can't get anything. See, that's you got to come at them people like that, folks. You got to. It's time out for all that playing and hee-hawing and all that. We got to get these black politicians out the paint. We got to go after them first. You know, we talk about Biden and them. No, we need to get the black ones out the paint first, because this is the deal. You all talk about being on code. You can't be on code if your politicians is all off code, all of them. When we act like Trump and say, "Oh, you crossing us? Oh, you out of there," and start knocking them out one by one by one and setting the standard in the black community that if you're going to run as a black politician, you better be on code with Black America, or you're out of there. Then that's when you'll see black politicians being on code with Black America. But as long as you keep voting for these people that's totally off code, can care less about Black America and care about everybody else except Black America, this is why you got a Warnock. This is why. And until you in Georgia, black folks in Georgia, until you go out there and show Raphael Warnock that you mean business about your reparations, and you mean business about you getting tangible policies to help the families of black folk in Georgia, you're going to keep dealing with Warnock or anybody else. Make an example out of Warnock not to play about your reparations. Make an example out of Stacey Abrams, not to play about your reparations and play about Black America. We covered her thing talking about the black men's agenda, and it's an everybody policy. And everybody policy is a proverbial F Black America. F y'all, F your mama, F your grandmama, F your kids. F everybody in Black America. Because I can care less about you. It's all about me and what my Democrat paymasters tell me to say. And what they tell me to say is nothing for you and something for everybody else in the racial caste system of America. So fall in line and put me back in office so I can use your votes to give something to everybody else but you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the podcast. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button that we know we post another podcast. Click the like button. That's very, very important. We appreciate you coming by. And once again, we'll see you on the next one.